Hi, this is Dan, and today I'm going to go over the 5 most common real estate violations in the state of California. All right, starting at number 5, failure to maintain property standards. That means you're a slumlord. You're a professional dirtbag. You do not keep your properties to a safe standard for your renters. That's horrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. Part of being a housing provider is to provide quality property that meet basic health and human rights standards. Shame on you if you're a slumlord. Number 4 of violations, most common in California, housing laws. This especially was in the past. There are 3 major ones that are violation of housing laws. Redlining. Redlining is, well, it still probably exists in some ways or another, but not as common as it used to be. And I use the example of East Palo Alto in the San Francisco Bay Area. How back in the days, lenders would only give loans to certain people from marginalized communities in that area. They would create a red line around a certain area to give loans to certain people. Usually they're minorities. Next one of the violations, steering. Now, steering would be done by the real estate agent. So, for instance, if you had someone back in the days, African American, and you were a realtor, you would drive them to East Palo Alto. Even if they had loan qualifications to buy a piece of property in, let's say, more affluent area, Palo Alto. This was steering. You would steer people to certain areas based on their ethnic or origin. This is illegal and shameful. The third way, blockbustering. Now, blockbustering is an illegal technique. So you would go to people and knock on their doors by realtors and say, hey, you might want to sell your home because the people over here, they're, how do I say it, going to bring down the property values in your neighborhood. Now, this is blockbustering. This is illegal. Try to sense fear into people so they will sell their homes. And then you, as a professional dirtbag, would go in and buy their home and try to flip it or sell it and make some money. That is shameful. Shame on you if you're involved in redlining, steering, or blockbustering. Number 3, unlicensed practices. Now, this should have been protected under what's called the RESPA, Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. Now, this was established in December 1974. This really was to create transparency in the real estate market so people would know exactly what they were paying for when they sat down and signed the paperwork to get home loans. There was no surprise at the signing table. Also, to prevent kickbacks from unlicensed people. So, for instance, if I go out and I would recommend people to a real estate agent, and I'm unlicensed, and that real estate agent would pay me something, let's say a commission, I don't know, 0.5%, I don't know, $500, it doesn't matter. I'm unlicensed. I'm not allowed to collect these fees or actually money from people that are licensed. That's under the RESPA Act. Number 2, failure to disclose. Now, I'll give you an example. If you saw that television show Breaking Bad, Jesse Pinkman's parents were going to sell Jesse's home. Well, actually, it was his aunt's home, but Jesse lived there. Fortunately, or unfortunately, Jesse had an attorney, Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman had his own show too, Saul Goodman. Now, Saul Goodman was able to bring it up at closing that there was a meth lab that Jesse and was at Walt were creating and are actually producing meth down in the basement. Guess what? And the parents knew about that. They needed to disclose that. Shame on you, the Pinkmans. Well, you got what was coming to you. Yeah, that has a lot to do. Also, I'll give you another example of a failure to disclose. If there was a murder at the home, and as a real estate professional, you knew about it, you need to disclose that. There's certain laws, different states vary for how many years that you have to disclose that. Again, failure to disclose is the number 2 common real estate violation. And number 1, misrepresentation or fraud. There was a lot of fraud, especially in the mortgage industry. 2008, 2009, a lot of bad actors. Yeah, and a lot of problems had to happen out of that. Created, I think, the Dodd-Frank Act. There was a lot of legislation. Now, real estate mortgage professionals in the real estate community have to be licensed. I think it's the NMLS. They have to take 20 hours before they can get licensed. Also, they have to pass the test. And the test, I heard, is no joke. I think the pass rate is something like 55% of the people that take that pass that on the first time. So, yeah, they're trying to raise the standards to prevent misrepresentation and fraud. Well, guess what? I think there's a good place that people do commit fraud and misrepresentation. It's called prison. And that's, unfortunately, that didn't happen with Too Big to Fail. Now, don't get me going on that. Governments can pass laws, but we have to enforce the laws. Now, this has a lot to do with the integrity. Now, what is integrity? That means doing good when no one else is watching. Well, if you can do good, please like and subscribe down in the comment section below. Again, don't hate on me. I'm just a man with a mullet and a dream. Thanks a lot. Peace out and